once the Soviet Union collapsed, many of the European countries abandoned NATO in the practical sense of not maintaining a military force, but then they made perfect sense not maintaining it because there was no military threat. So NATO is an organization without a clear mission, with one major military power present in it, the United States, who doesn't want to be limited by what the smaller powers have to say. So it's there, it has meetings, but in the end, I don't think that anybody makes its foreign policy based on its relationship to NATO any longer. The igniting of nationalism is the result of the EU's policies. The EU's vision of Europe was that a European identity would emerge. Of course, that's impossible to happen. They don't have the same histories, the same language, or anything else. And so it inevitably happens as the EU's central body makes decisions, people will not like the decisions that are made. And what happens is that the governments that are pro-EU come under tremendous pressure from its own public that doesn't want to follow the EU direction. And so now you see, obviously, Brexit is one case. The rise of nationalism it never happened. Nationalism never went away. National identity never went away. NATO is a military entity. You cannot have a military alliance if you don't have a military. And many of the European countries don't want to spend the money on that, which is fine. And Trump's position is that, okay, if you don't want to spend the money on the military, let's not have a NATO, but let's not pretend. So I would say that Trump's position essentially is, and this is, I think, widely held in America, that the Europeans have abandoned NATO. They've abandoned any responsibility to NATO, but they want the Americans to participate in the NATO with their military under European rules. This is not going to go on forever. The Europeans are incapable, individually and collectively. They have said that Europe is about making money and being comfortable. Well, I wish them well, but they have chosen not to play a role. The United States has not kept anyone from playing a role. The problem of the New World Order myth is that it assumed that while the United States was enormously powerful, it was so powerful it could stop anything or anyone. The United States is the greatest economy and the greatest military, but it has limited interests. And frankly, the question of what the Europeans and the Russians and the Chinese do affect us really only marginally. We do business with them. But the Russians irritate us more than most. I would say that Europe is the sick man right now. I mean, consider the condition of Europe. The second largest economy of Europe wants to leave. And the European Union is so frightened by this thought, because after all, it's the second largest economy, others will follow. But I think you will see, growing Turkish interests and influence, particularly in the Balkans. But also you're beginning to see Turkish diplomacy having an influence in what used to be called Eastern Europe and other areas. So while I don't think we will call it the sick man of Turkey, I don't think Turkey is going to be the sick man of anything. Turkey is going to be, and is, an increasingly significant power. Turkey is historically a greater influencer. And during the events that we've seen in Syria and other events, we see Turkey taking its place in the world. It is not an easy thing to do. I'm not sure Turkey is happy doing it. But I think one of the things the world really has to understand is that you cannot operate in this region without taking very serious attention to Turkey.